Hey, people.
Hello.
You want to say hi to the people?
No, I'm gonna attack you and yours.
Come on, man. Stop.
Hello, hello.
Hey, people. So, how are we doing? Well, not wearing the same shirt anymore, that's for sure. And look at these things. Some loud pants. Yeah, I just got... Yeah, tired of wearing that old crusty shirt. Did a little bit of hand laundry. Okay, she did. We're still coming down to see Angie. We just, we're a hot mess. Real quick, I want to show you guys the van, how it's set up right now. I hate the door swinging like that. Watch the door be locked. No, it's not. We got all kinds of stuff up in here, and socks and all kinds of goodies. All kinds of goodies. Yeah, some deodorant, all kinds of snackages. Yeah. All kinds of goodies. Although we've been having to limit people to like one pair of socks. There's a few things in there we gotta limit people down to one of. But that's fine. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to get in here without breaking my ass. It mostly worked. Come on, Z-Horse, work with me. Alright, so yeah, we actually still have some supplies. We ran down the other day and saw one of our favorite couples. We got them all hooked back up. And they were down on everything. Which was cool because we stopped into the Wawa so I could take a leak. And we ran into them. So it was like just perfect timing. Man. We've been getting some good stuff done, We're still working on cleaning up Mason's camper. That's gonna take days. Oh, cool. Thank you. But we still got other stuff to do in between, like taking John to work and to his appointments and all that kind of stuff. Plus doing our runs and trying to get that thing stockpiled up, as well as like running around and trying to get things lined up for little special projects. Hoping. Because we do plan on building a couple more trailers. You know. But on top of that, we're going to still keep going on with what we do on, you know, the regular. But we plan on trying to get some tents together and get them out as well. Try to hook up a couple of the local campsites. We got some good camping supplies donated so far, but we definitely need to get some tents, sleeping bags, and I have a spam call coming in. It's a neat looking number though. Although I don't know if I can get in trouble for saying it over the internet, so. And she already just laid down, so she paid no attention.
It's a small house. You can only get into like 2 positions.
I know.
I was changing position.
Yeah. So things have been going good, you know. People are definitely starting to recognize us in that band though. I was like sitting there waiting for Faye to come out of Walmart with John the other day, and I'm just sitting there, got my head like this, and just leaning on the window. And I look out the window, it's like somebody's driving past with the camera just going. I was like, why don't you just stop and talk to me? Like, I'm sure somebody has a video of me picking my nose at this point. They got to. That's pretty much a guarantee. Man, I am exhausted. I am exhausted. Getting our schedule back on track with John working at like 4 in the morning. Whew. That's rough. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We've kind of been taking turns to see who gets to sleep. We've been coming across some decent people though. We really have. Only come across a couple of nuts lately. But the last one was kind of funny. Like, I was driving down the road and I'm like, Now there's somebody. Before we even like got up to the guy, like he was going off. Like literally just going off. And there wasn't no one. Like not within yelling distance. Like there was nobody within like 300 yards of this guy. He's just walking and snapping. It was like if he was having a friggin' argument with a bee or something that was arguing back. And I just kind of like took one look at this guy and I was like, yeah, we're not stopping. And like, maybe we'll, we'll come across his path another day, and like him and that bee will have settled their disputes, and he might be sane. But like for today, now I want to leave that one alone. Some sheep you leave out in the pasture. Yeah, they haven't run off their crazy yet. They ain't ready to come back in. Like, you just gotta recognize that look on them. You just gotta go, okay, yeah. It's covered in a fine layer of shit nuts. Let that one stew for a little while. Although he was freaking funny though. If there was a good spot to stop and like just watch, I probably would have. A good place to stop and watch from a safe distance. I would have. This guy was freaking funny. Although his adventure may have been pharmaceutically enhanced. Because that did not seem all natural. And that's one of the funny parts about it. It's like, just because you see them doesn't mean it's a good time for them. You gotta judge that too. You gotta look at them and go, what kind of mood are they in? Do they already look like they're weighed down with too much bags? It's fun though sometimes, it's just, you kind of get used to it. In the beginning, like the first year, when me and Faye finally decided that that's what we were doing, regardless of everything. It was like, that was some of the stuff we had to figure out. This is like every spot where somebody flies, there's different markers. And every person has their own marker. which means they claim the spot. Different territories and different groups have different rules. But on average around here, it seems like you can place a marker for like a half hour so you can go hit the bathroom and come back without somebody automatically just taking your spot. And it's good for like the people on the street to come up with little rules and stuff like that. Oh, it cuts down on all the fighting and arguing and crap. Other spots, it's like if you step off of your spot, you lost it. You know, it is what it is. So some of the people, when we see them flying, we can't bother them. You know, like, even if we have stuff for them, you gotta keep, like, swinging back around to them and get them when they get off their spot. Because you can cause them to lose their spot for the whole day, you know. And yeah, we might be able to bring them some water and something to eat, but if we cost them their hotel room for the night, then we just caused them to be back out on the street for a night. Like, you gotta do it the right way, you know. You don't want to draw too much attention to them because you don't want anybody to call cops on them. You don't want to get them, like, have them lose their spot. Like, you just gotta be delicate with pretty much all of it. And just start learning the customs of each individual group. Which, in some cases, stays the same, and that's awesome that it stays the same. But other groups, the rules change once there's like the introduction of like one member. You know, that one jackass that wants to be dominant and have his way. And they mostly know that, like, most of the other guys don't really feel like fucking arguing about it, so they're just like, whatever. Although, Faye sometimes, like, doesn't follow any protocols, and she's like, "Sweetie!" It just runs up and gives somebody a hug, which is adorable. But it's like, you know, I love her. I do. It usually doesn't cause any problems, though. Every once in a while. Oh well. Everybody does something, you know. had these two guys arguing one day over a box of friggin' cereal. And I mean, like, they were ready to go to blows over a box of cereal because one guy got to it before the other guy did. It was just like, come on, man. This is like $1.99. Like, it ain't that important. It's funny though. We like doing it, you know. Even though you deal with some of the freaking craziest crap sometimes. It gets nutty. But it's worth it. It's cool. You know. Especially building up, you know, rapport and relationships with people. And we're building a community out here, you know. We're also figuring out, like, you know, which ones are just trouble and which ones, you know, are just on hard times. And we want to help both groups out, but it's good to know, like, where to focus your attention, though. Because, like, you can give one guy a tent. You can be rest assured he's going to have that tent all summer. Somebody else, you don't know if he's going to have it for more than a day or two. Like, and you want to help them both, but there's times where you're like, if I only got one tent, and like, I got a guy that can, like, can't hardly friggin' walk down the street, let alone put a tent up. Like, am I helping at all if I give him the tent? No. And it sucks because you gotta make those calls and you gotta just drive on them, you know. You gotta find that guy that, you know, is gonna make better use out of that, you know. And that's hard, man, when, like, you gotta sit there and go, no, there's no way in hell she can do it. Maybe. Like, it's one of those situations where it's like, you kind of wish you just had a coin so you could just flip it so it doesn't have to be your decision. Yeah. But you do. You know, you might get 3 sleeping bags, or you might get, you know, 2 or 3 tents. Now, how many people are out there on the street? Like, I gotta pick and choose. You know? And it's like, there's times when you find the right person, but they're not in the right area. You got too many punk kid, like teenagers that just tear everything in the area up. It's like, homie, if you're willing to like camp further down the road, I'll hook you up. But if you're trying to stay right friggin' here, there's no point. I mean, me and Faye ended up having to sit on a tent for like almost 2 weeks at one point. Because we just couldn't find anybody that had the ability to set it up and break it down, the ability to like know how to even use a friggin' tent, the gumption to like take the hike to go find a spot to set it up. Like early on, like the first friggin' tent we gave out, that was a learning experience, is what it was. Like, he was this old drunk dude, and like he had no intention of setting it up. He just opened it, tossed the poles and everything to the side, and crawled into it like a bag. It was like, no, you gotta go somewhere with it. Mm-mm. He just sat right down on the side of the friggin' like parking lot of Wawa, opened it up, crawled right inside of it. It was just like, no, you gotta go somewhere with it and set it up. Like, 20 minutes later, the cops were there and kicking him out of the parking lot. Tent went right into the trash can. It was like, all right. And yeah, we waited for the cop to leave, and went and got the tent back out of the trash can, and went and gathered up all the friggin' parts to it. And we were like, well, that went well. We've had people like yelling and like trying to fight, like yelling at us and trying to fight us because it was like by us offering them a tent and a sleeping bag, they took it as a friggin' insult. And like that old dude was like ornery as all get out. Good grief. We had this one friggin' old guy that was just cussing us up one side and down the other. And it was like, I kind of kept the interaction going a little longer than I should have, just because, again, I was being entertained. And I just couldn't figure out what he was so wound up about. So, you know, I wasn't trying to push his buttons, but I was just trying to figure what was the on switch. Anyway, guys, we love yous. We do. Just, as usual, be good to each other, you know. The kindness in the world starts with us, you know. It really does. So, spread that shit around like peanut butter. And we'll see you guys later. Later. That was supposed to be her, but she passed out, so later.